It's all about abundance right now. Here's a tune from Eddie Watkins Jr. Yeah, money is coming to me. 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 I can just feel it, and I believe it's coming to me now. And I'm not worried about how, no. Money is coming to me. Come on, come on. The universe is working for me. I can feel it, and I believe it. Yeah, it's working for me now. I'm not worried about how, no. Money is coming to me. Yeah, more than enough to live, more than enough to give, more than enough to share. Feel like it's already here. More than enough to shop, more than enough to drop, more than enough to save, with plenty left over to give away. Money is coming to me. Just feel it, and I believe coming to me now. I'm not worried about how, no. Money is coming to me. The universe is working for me. Yeah, I can just feel it, and I believe, yeah, it's working for me now. And I'm not worried about how, no. Money is coming to me. Yeah, more than enough to live, more than enough to give, more than enough to share. Feel like it's already here. More than enough to shop, more than enough to drive, more than enough to save, with plenty left over to give away. Your money is coming to me. I can just feel it, I believe it's coming to me now. I'm not worried about how, no. Money is coming to me. Come on, come on, come on, leave it, and I receive it. Yeah, money's coming to me now. Yeah, feel it's already here. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Hallelujah. Good morning to everyone here in our sanctuary and in our Zoom room. Thank you for joining us today at Unity Spiritual Center in the Rockies. Our guest musician today is Ken Jansen. Ken's musical path has taken him through many styles, including classical, jazz, country, rock, pop, and R&B. He has played with many great performers, including Dave Valentine and The Temptations. He has also played in many bands and groups in Colorado Springs, Denver, and back in the day in Wichita, Kansas. He currently performs often across the Front Range. He is also involved with local artists in music production projects. Thank you for being with us, Ken. We would like to share our inclusivity statement with you. Unity in the Rockies is an inclusive community. We welcome all people, races, gender identities, and relational orientations. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And now please join me in affirming our mission statement. We are an inclusive spiritual community where we recognize and express our oneness with our Creator and all creation. And now we have some announcements. Today, after the service, Please join us at 11:30 a.m. in person in the sanctuary or on Zoom for our casual question and answer session. We will answer your questions and provide context about anything that is on your heart and mind. Please see an usher if you did not get a copy of the Q&A handout. If you join us on Zoom, then the handout will be shared on screen. Adventures in Prosperity, the key to your destiny. Sign up today. We are going to be studying Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks over a 7-week period starting today. We will explore the book on Sunday, then meet in small groups, both online and in person, during the week. Talk with Susan in the foyer today, or see the eBlast and Unity website for book and group registration details. Please support Westside Care's food pantry and clothes closet this month. September is one of our 4 months annually that the Unity community is asked to provide food, toiletry, and clothing items for Westside Cares. See the eBlast for more information. The Board of Trustees monthly meeting is scheduled on Wednesday, September 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. See the eBlast for more details. The Unity Spiritual Center cookbook sales. Cookbooks are available to purchase after the service. See your Lauder at the cookbook table in the foyer. The Sacred Women's Circle. The Harvest Fall Equinox Gathering. Join the group on Saturday, September 23rd at 3 p.m. at the Unity Gazebo for a fall equinox celebration. See the eBlast, SWC newsletter, or Facebook for more details. And last but not least, Good Grief, Charlie Brown. Good Grief, a peer support group for persons living with grief due to the passing of a beloved, meets the 4th Sunday of each month from 12 to 1:30 p.m. The next meeting is scheduled next Sunday, September 24th. And the final announcement, welcome to the light on the Mesa.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
All right, turned it on. Good start. All right, good morning. I'm Rhett Kurgis. I'm one of your prayer chaplains. I will be available to pray with you after service, either up here or in our prayer chaplain room. And so will Charlotte. And today I'll be reading from today's Daily Word magazine. And it's September 17th, Sunday. And the word for today is joy. God's joy blesses each day of my life. The aroma of my favorite foods from childhood bring a happy memory to mind. Hearing the voice of a dear one warms my heart. Looking upon a newborn's face for the first time evokes a feeling words can't even describe. While this giddy excitement of a child's joy may now be a memory, the joy I know today still delights me. Each day I embrace more completely the joy of knowing I am a living expression of God. God's life lives as me. God's wisdom is within me, my guide to deepening understanding of myself and the world around me. The love I share with people who are dear to me is God's love, living in each heart and expressing as each of us. What greater joy could there be? And today's verse, Colossians 5:16, rejoice always. I guess that's a short one, so I better say it again. Rejoice always. I hope everyone has a blessed day. Again, the chaplains will be available after service. Definitely take advantage of it. We'd love to talk to you. And then also, if you'd just like to put in an honest request in the back, that we have a prayer box. So thank you very much, and have a great Sunday.
These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive? The gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive? Love, are you ready? Joy, are you ready? Peace, are you ready? Are you ready to receive? These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive? All the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, I am ready to receive. Love, I'm ready. Joy, I am ready. Peace, I'm ready. I am ready to receive. Compassion, I am ready. Forgiveness, I am ready. Laughter, I'm ready. I'm ready to receive. Passion, I'm ready. Success, I'm ready. Abundance, I'm ready. I am ready to receive. These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, I am ready to receive. All the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, I am ready to receive. I am ready, I am ready. All the gifts of the goddess, I am ready to receive. Yes, I am ready to receive. Oh, I am ready to receive. All the gifts, all the gifts, all the gifts.
Thank you, Ken, and welcome back. Always a joy to have you with us. Although it's been a moment this time, you are always welcome, my friend. Well, good morning, love and blessings, everyone. So good to see you this day. I believe we're somewhere between summer and fall, and it's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. I trust many of you participated in Unity's World Day of Prayer on Wednesday, coming together in consciousness with so many beautiful beings from around the world. That, my friends, is who we are. We are grounded in faith. We are open at the top. We engage in affirmative prayer. So I trust that supported those who participated and, of course, all who participated in other ways. And this week, oh my goodness, Tuesday, for those who are interested and in the spirit, we're gathering mid-morning to start sorting out some Christmas decorations. So if you started the 100-day countdown to Christmas yesterday, you are our people. Please join Yolanda and me, and we're going to start having some fun with that. Wednesday, as was noted, our extraordinary Board of Trustees is meeting. If you'd like to share anything, if you'd just like to sit in and hear what's going on, those meetings are always open and you are always welcome. Saturday, in addition to the Sacred Women's Circle, of course, is the fall equinox. And that speaks to us of balance when we have equal parts day and night. So please participate in that effort if you are so inclined, and however you choose to honor that day. And on this day, our question and answer, President Luana Turner and I will be up here. All of our board members will be present to answer any questions that you might have. You know, one of the things that sticks with me from my time in ministerial school that we heard more than once is when you're humbled and honored to step into a pulpit, don't make a lot of changes the first year. Okay, well, that was my intention, and perhaps God had other plans for us. So we appreciate the opportunity to engage with you, whatever you might be thinking, whatever you might like a little more context about. And as we do so frequently, my friends, we want to acknowledge that this community would not be this community without you, without the so many beloveds sharing their gifts on so many levels. And on this day, I wanted to give a shout out to Mark Heinrich, who is not only in the booth virtually every weekend for us. Today, he brought in a spare desk for Yolanda. So we arrived a little before 8 o'clock. Mark was already in full swing. The hallway looked nothing like it looks now. So Mark, thank you for sharing your time, your talent in so many areas, and giving so many hours and hours and hours to this beloved community. And speaking of hours and hours, Susan Anderson lovingly said yes to be the coordinator for our Adventures in Prosperity program. And I love Susan dearly, and we were having yet another conversation this week. And I said, Susan, how are you doing? And my words, not hers, she said, David, I'm going to be really grateful when school finally starts. So for all of you who have reached out to Susan, she's coordinated all of our facilitators, she's coordinated all of our hosts, she's coordinated all of the participation. She's certainly kept me in line along the way. She's will be in the foyer again after the service. For those who are waiting until the last minute to register for a study group, this is it. This is the last minute. So because the participation has been so strong and so good, we have reached out and we have added 2 more classes during the week. Penny Olson is going to be joining us as a facilitator, and Marlene Milner will be joining us as a facilitator as well. So there's just a lot happening as always, and we bless you for being here, for blessing us with your presence. And as we prepare, as Ken has prepared us so beautifully to step into a conversation around prosperity and abundance, I invite you to just join me in a moment of meditation as we ground ourselves in this space, in this time, right here and right now. So I breathe in peace, and I exhale grace, releasing the busyness of the day, allowing myself to be fully present. For this is God's time. For this is your time. I call it good. I call it blessed. I know that each person within the sound of my voice gets exactly what they need from this day, through the spoken word, through the offered prayers, through the music, through the service of our chaplains and of our fellowship team, and of so many. I know that God is always conspiring for your good. I know that the universe always has your back, and so does every person in this community. So if you come, perhaps bearing a human challenge, thank you for letting us support you. If you come in a place of great joy and celebration, thank you for letting that also be a part of our path and our journey this day. So I offer a moment of silence to ponder what prosperity means to me. Yes. So I feel the energy raising in the room. I feel the energy raising online. I feel it raising on the planet. Because, beloveds, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. This is our work to do. We know that it starts with us individually, and it spreads out into the greater world for the greater good. So I bless each and every one of us as we continue to get up, to show up, to do what is ours to do. Blessings of tremendous abundance and great gratitude. I release, I let go, I allow it to be. We anchor this together by saying, and so it is. Did you feel those rockets of desire, to coin an Abraham term? What you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're expressing is perfect for you. And thank you. And so perhaps this journey over the next 7 weeks into Ask and It Is Given is an opportunity for us to fine-tune that message, for us to fine-tune that law of the universe that we, or at least many of us, know to be true. So I'm sensing that we're not talking about whole new concepts for folks, although if it is new to you, bless you and thank you for stepping in. And we are here to support you on that journey. And for many, it's an effort of nuance, it's an effort of timing, it's an effort of fine-tuning. So that is what we're about this day. And once again, I find myself with all kinds of reference material and all kinds of documents, and I had such a great time preparing my talk this week to share with you. And I don't want to overshare. But forgive me in this moment. I know there's a little bit of that going on here, and there's just too much fun stuff. I got to let you all in on some of this. So we've got the book, Ask and It Is Given. And I want to salute and honor you. You all are trustworthy and salt of the earth folks. We've had the book on display in the foyer for well over a month, and it has stayed there. Not that y'all aren't trustworthy, but sometimes I pick up a pen and it ends up at home with me. And I pick up a book for a point of reference and it lands on my bookcase. So I just want you to know that I see you and I appreciate you. The other thing that I want to offer is many of you have picked up your workbook, The Key to Your Destiny, Adventures in Prosperity 2023. Yolanda, when we found out that the pricing on these was going to be exorbitant and it simply wasn't in the budget, Yolanda used the copy machine that was donated to us by UU to produce all of these in-house. So that is why we have these. And that wasn't a directive, that wasn't a request, that was Yolanda being Yolanda. So we do have them available online for folks. We sent out the link if you would prefer to work that way. You can print out your own copy, of course, in black and white or in color, or you can pick up a copy here. And so what we're talking about then, has anybody seen any of the movies in the Pitch Perfect series? Yeah, kind of fun, right? About a high school a cappella group. Okay, so maybe not fun for everybody. Fair enough, dude. I see you. But it's about a women's college a cappella group. And, no politics there, I'm sure. But the message is that's exactly what we're about with this work that we're entering into. Pitch Perfect. We're about perfect pitch. We're about fine-tuning our vibration with that which is in our highest and best to achieve what is ours to achieve. So that is the work that we're engaging in. We're fine-tuning with who we already are, right? Because when you were created, when you incarnated, you did so as a perfect expression of the divine. And so it was part of the human journey where perhaps, I don't know about you, but perhaps I have gotten off course from time to time. And so what we are doing then is offering this fine-tuning, offering this conversation around alignment so every one of us can get back to our own center, to be exactly who we were meant to be in doing the work that is ours to do. So speaking of this great workbook and speaking about black and white or color, some of you may have flipped to the back page where it not only lists all of the Sundays in the chapters in the book that we're going to be talking about, but it also lists a color of the week. And the color for week 1 is red. So for those who had a chance to flip ahead and to see that, and you're falling out in your best red attire today, thank you. And the reason, my friends, it's not just because we felt like picking our favorite colors to match up with the weeks, right? It is because we're all about providing people different points of entry into the work, however they choose to enter the work. So when Charles Fillmore created the 12 powers, he assigned a disciple to every power, and he made that connection for us. He also assigned a month for a particular conversation, if churches and ministries and ministers chose to do that. He also did not assign a color for each one of those. Colors were assigned later, much later, by a unity minister. And now we have colors associated with each one of the 12 powers. So this was one of the courses that I took as part of my work to gain my licensing within Unity. Power Up Your Life, accessing your 12 powers to achieve health, happiness, abundance, and inner peace, all in 8 weeks. It was an awesome class. And I wanted to share with you the thought around when the colors were added to the 12 powers. So it says, the colors that are associated with the 12 powers were not part of the original system as put forth by Charles Fillmore. They were created by Reverend Joel Baer many years ago. A person does not have to relate to the color system in order to understand and apply the powers. However, many individuals find colors associated with powers provided an added inspiration in depth. And it goes on to talk about, how those were assigned and what those mean and so forth. And what I wanted to share with you, again, from the 12 powers perspective, is that the power is life. And the power to maintain vitality, sustain energy, make whole, enliven, quicken. And the color associated with the power is red. And the affirmation is, I claim life now. I use life to energize and enliven my pursuit of being the best I can be. So once again, this is us bringing this into Unity terminology and working within a Unity framework. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is, I've done some work with color therapy. And so, at the risk of looking too Bono-esque, the red color therapy glasses, let me read you. See, all of this comes together for me, and I'm sorry, I find it fascinating. So in color therapy terms, red corresponds to the base of the spine, adrenals, kidneys, bladder, colon, spinal column, legs, and blood. Red balance is active, instinctual, stable, secure, grounded, spontaneous, courageous, and geared towards survival and self-preservation. Red is I have. This color is a warm and positive color associated with our most physical needs and our will to survive. It exudes a strong and powerful energy. Red is hot. Red is energizing. It excites the emotions and motivates us to take action. It signifies a pioneering spirit and leadership qualities, promoting ambition and determination. It is also strong-willed and can give confidence to those who are shy or lacking willpower. Now, side note, I think I've shared with you before, willpower I have, my won't power is lacking. Being the color of physical movement, the color red awakens our physical life force. So, I share all that by way of inviting you to consider for the next 6 weeks of the program, if you would flip to that back page of the workbook and join us in celebrating the color that we're going to be engaging in that week. So whether you like the reading, whether you like the music, whether you like the workbook, whether you love your facilitator, it's all good, right? Because it's all part of the one conversation and the one power. The other thing that I wanted to share with you again from the book, How to Speak Unity by our dear friend Temple Hayes, what she writes about abundance from a unity perspective. Temple says, goodness is all around us. Let us open our hearts to see it. In Matthew 6:25, Jesus urges us not to be concerned about the clothes that we shall wear or the food we shall eat. We know abundance is all around us, and as we open ourselves to it, our good will come. When we pray for our blessings, we are saying to our unlimited God, I am ready to receive. As we awaken spiritually, we begin to pay attention to everything that comes across our paths, the conversations, the gifts, and the surprise encounters. We all evidence the good which flows like a river into our lives. So that's our definition of abundance, and I've shared with you that is our intention with this series, to cast the broadest net that we can when we talk about abundance and prosperity. I love that Ken is singing about money. You might have thought we had a conversation beforehand. And it's okay, right? I don't know about you. We were not very frequently at all did we talk about money in my house. And the few times I went to church as a kid, we didn't talk about it other than you need to put more in the basket. Well, we're okay talking about money. We're more than okay talking about money. Money is God in action. Money is what we use on this plane and on this planet. So why would we not talk about it in a house of God? So that is the perspective that we're taking. So for those who are joining us in the book study then, chapter 1, David's shorthand, David's Cliff Notes. Chapter 1 is about feelings. Chapter 2 is about reminding us. And chapter 3 is about grounding that in reality. So let's talk about feelings. There are no bad feelings. You've heard me say that before. If you're feeling good, that's good. If you're feeling angry, that's reasonable. How can we support you? Do you want to be alone? Do you want to talk? Do you want to hit a pillow? You know, it's not a Goodfellas thing. I wouldn't invite you to pull out your revolver and fire it into a pillow. But let's talk about it. Let us support you. That is why we're here. You've heard me say that it's one of my great honors to support people through all of the rituals of life, particularly weddings and funerals. And whenever I sit down with a family at the beginning of one of those conversations, one of my first questions is, what do you want people to feel when your guests come to experience this ritual? Whether it's a couple getting married or somebody preparing to say goodbye to a loved one. And sometimes people are a little thrown by that. Because they've been in this space of feeling, whether it's newlyweds or, again, folks who are saying goodbye to somebody. But to have somebody ask them directly, what do you want other people to feel, feels a little awkward. Shouldn't we be talking about scripture? Shouldn't we be talking about readings and songs and, somebody wanting to do a special song for us or whatever? And I continually come back to the feeling. Because y'all are really good thinkers. You know how to figure it out, right? Somebody put something before you. You know how to think through that. Some of us enjoy that more than others, and everybody knows how to do it. So my invitation in that moment is to make that connection, that 18 inches between the head and the heart, that much more conscious and that much stronger. What do you want your guests to feel? So recently I had the opportunity to do memorials for two elderly gentlemen. One was 93, one was 88. Long, full, successful, glorious lives. The 93-year-old, I was having a conversation with his widow, and they had already had a full funeral service, and this was going to be an interment of his ashes in the family crypt. And she said, I've never done this before. What do you do? And I said, well, I've done this a lot. What would you like me to do? And so we were kind of having this journey to the middle. And she said, well, my husband did so many things and we had such a great life together. And one of the things that he continually referred to, one of the things that brought him joy, is when he was in college, he played clarinet in the marching band. I said, I love that. I said, so you're thinking a marching band at his service? She said, well, no, but I am thinking, can we play On Wisconsin as a part of his graveside service? I said, you are the boss of you. We can do anything you'd like. So I gave her time to think about it. She loved that idea. She comes back to me the day before the service. She says, I think we should end the service with On Wisconsin. And I said, that's great. Yeah, I've got it downloaded. I've got my speaker. We're good to go. She says, and I wanted something from 30s, 40s, 50s when we were dancing. We loved to dance. We loved to go out with our friends. We loved to engage in community in that way. She said, I think we should start the service with In the Mood. I get to follow my own advice. I said, well, sure, we can certainly do that. And so she thought about it, and she really wanted to do that. And so that's what we did. So a small group coming for the graveside service, and I see them coming, and I push play. And as all the family and friends are walking up, they get Glenn Miller's In the Mood. And I'm just thinking about these other folks who are there, honoring their loved ones and cleaning the graves and being in a meditative space. They're like, is this a real thing? So I just get to know that they accepted it in the spirit in which it was intended. And then at the end, On Wisconsin, full orchestration, fight, fight, fight. And one of the younger fellows, one of the grandsons who was present said, I'm really embarrassed. I don't know the words. And I said, you know what, that's not the point. This isn't your grandfather slapping you on the hand. This is your grandfather saying, let's get on with it. Let's live life to its fullest. That is the feeling that they wanted to establish. The other service for the 88-year-old, another truly Renaissance man, one of the first corporate pilots in the country. He did that work. Then he went into real estate with his wife. They were one of the first real estate paired teams. He was the 13th of 14 children. He outlived all of his spouses, including the younger one. He didn't identify as a religious man, and his dad made sure all 14 kids went to church every Sunday. I said, well, good for Dad. I want to believe that Dad is a religious and spiritual guy who wanted his kids to have spiritual background. And part of me says, Dad needed an hour off a week. And we bless it all, right? God doesn't care. So we bless him in that experience. He didn't identify as religious throughout his life, although he lived a wonderful and blessed life. He and his wife had 2 kids. Then they also, I didn't know this until somebody got up to speak at the service, he and his wife also took in 5 other kids from another family member. The wife never shared this with me. This was not a big deal. It was just what they did. They took in these 5 kids and they raised them as their own. Sorry. So at his service, it is what I would call much more traditional. Old rugged cross, Amazing Grace, and it was all sung by family members who happened to be musicians. And the one song that was not sung by musicians, they played a song by the Judds called Grandpa, Tell Me About the Good Old Days. And that is what he did with his kiddos. Whenever they went on vacation, he would tell them about what it was like when he took their grandmother out on their first date, and he had his 32 Ford, and it was an awesome car, except that it didn't have an accelerator, and he substituted a clothespin. And Grandma and Grandpa's first date got really interesting, and we're glad they're really safe and they're still here. And then one of the grandsons got up, a successful attorney, and he said it was so cool when Grandpa used to fly to Colorado, fly to Denver from Texas, pick up this posse of grandkids, fly us back to Texas so we could swim in a pool. They had a pool at their house, and then he would fly us back. And so all of this, my friends, speaks to feeling. His widow, Paula, was really clear that she wanted a celebration of life. And that's another question that I ask all of my families. How are you framing this? How does this feel to you? Are you considering this a funeral? Are you considering this a memorial? Are you considering this a celebration of life? And nothing is bad or wrong. It all helps me contextually. It all helps me with syntax, right? So that helps me pick the readings and support the energy that they want to offer. So it's all about feelings. So on this day, I bless you in all of your feelings. I bless you in all of your emotions. As I do share at many memorials, if a tear comes to your eye, of course, we are sad at losing someone we love. If a smile comes to your lips because of a memory or perhaps a slightly off-color story, that's awesome. You see, the God that I know, the God who I connect with, appreciates humor. God is in the humor. I make the same offer to the couples that I marry. What is the feeling that you want your guests to leave with? Almost all of them say fun and uplifting, some spirituality, maybe a Bible verse. I've had a couple who have said, we are serious and somber, and we want and need a serious service. And that is when I reach out to you, my friends, because I am in my moment of humanness, and I'm like, forgive me, who the hell wants to go to a serious wedding? And I get to be in that space of honoring and supporting them, right? And not making their feelings bad. So I get into David's serious and somber mode, and then they start cracking jokes with each other. And then that sends me sideways. What do I do? How do I support them? And it's okay, because God is in, around, and through it all. And so I get to love them and support them. So the chapter 2 of the book then, really one of the core messages of the whole book, as far as I'm concerned, from Abraham. When they talk about, we are here to remind you who you are. And I know that triggers at least one song for our one of our favorite musicians. We are here to remind you who you are. Has anybody ever gone through potty training with a giant soul with short legs, or perhaps with a four-legged? It's an interesting experience, right? And, we take turns walking our beautiful boy, Terry, and we don't often go together these days. And when I take Terry out for a walk, 5 o'clock this morning before we were getting ready for our day today, A, he's not excited, he's not a morning dog, but B, when we're out and about and he does do his business, I say, "Good boy, Terry, good boy, for going to the bathroom." Did anybody ever say that to kids or grandkids? "Good girl, honey, thank you for using the potty. Good boy, you can have a popsicle." I know, I'm the only one who bribes them with food. But that is reminding them who they are. Forgive the somewhat crass example. When we were little ones, hopefully, we heard so many times a day, "I love you. You are blessed. You are amazing. That color looks great on you. Oh my goodness, you're crawling and you can roll over. First steps, right? And we were getting this constant reinforcement for doing things that are natural for us. What if we did that for ourselves? What if tomorrow morning, or whenever you choose to roll out of bed, you got up, and when you're starting your daily routine, you said to yourself, "Hi, I'm grateful to be here today. Thank you, Spirit," right? We are about changing our thinking to change our lives, rather than saying, "Ugh, it's another Monday." And, as Karen Carpenter saying, rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Or, fill in the blank. What is the race consciousness message that you are ready to release? What if tomorrow rolls around and it's like, this is the best day yet? I don't know exactly what's going to happen, and this is what I'm calling in, and please use me. Use me, God. Use me, Spirit. Use me, Mother Earth. Use me, Goddess. Use me, whomever, in co-creating a magnificent day for myself and for all with whom I interact on this planet. And that's one thing that this community does so beautifully, and has done so beautifully for me and for each other. We get to hold each other up. We get to see the wholeness and the fullness and the goodness and the grace when we can't necessarily see it for each other. And we get to share in the joy of your dog having a good poop. Okay. So that is what Abraham is here to do. And that's one of the reasons why I personally am so resonant with Abraham. For me, it is unconditional love. For me, all of the messages are supportive. For me, I have never heard Abraham through Esther say, "Oh, God love ya. That was a great effort, but that's really stupid." She often says it in as many words, and it's unconditional love. So if you haven't had that experience, or if you're just not aware, I just invite you into that consideration as you continue to move through the work. And allow Abraham to remind us who we are. The third chapter then speaks to me about reality. And I love that because we're dealing with something esoteric. We're dealing with something that's out there a ways, right, for a number of people. We're dealing with something that some might label woo-woo. Okay, we're not doing anything wrong. We're not hurting anybody. If anybody gets anything out of this that speaks to them and builds their soul, I say all the power to us. So another memorial that I did recently was for a 25-year-old. And this is a tough one. And as I shared at the service, having had the honor to support so many families through this process, whenever parents have to bury a child, it's outside of the natural flow. It's outside, and that's my own human overlay. That's my own judgment. I have had a significant amount of loss in my life. I lost my first partner as we were together for 18 years. He had a heart attack and was gone. I lost my parents, my grandparents, my oldest sibling, my nephew, so many beloveds in my life who have moved beyond the veil. And I have never lost a child. So for those who that is part of your circumstance, that is part of your story, I don't claim to understand it. I stand with you when I hold your bruised heart. I am sorry for your loss. And when I shared that, I also included grandparents, because my brother and late sister-in-law, who have lived, my brother who's lived here in the Springs now for 40 years, my late sister-in-law passed away New Year's Day 2020. They had two boys. They had a third boy, and then they lost Chad at 4 months from sudden infant death. And I've still found myself in that space of not understanding and wanting to support him and the family and not knowing what to do and not knowing what to say. And so I was having a really poignant conversation with my brother. His name's Doug. I said, Duggar, I don't know what to do. I don't know how you guys are dealing with this. And so he was frank, he was direct, he was honest. We had a very loving conversation. And the offshoot was, Dave, we lost a son. And that's really sad. And we're going to remember him and we're going to carry him with us for the rest of our lives. And it's not like he was 20 or 25. And he had a personality and he had friends. Now, I understand this is my brother justifying. And that was him offering himself a reality check. That was him offering himself a lifeline to be able to hang on, to keep going. And back to the family of this wonderful 25-year-old. He was a drone pilot. He loved his drones. He loved his games. He was just married in June. And I'm having a conversation with mom and dad. And 20 minutes, half an hour into the conversation, there's this pause. And mom says, okay, so we have something we need to tell you. Derek was in a single car accident after he had a fight with his wife. And they decided that they were going to divorce after 3 months of marriage. Those of us who are in the immediate family think that he chose that accident. He chose that to wrap his car around that tree and leave his body in a single car accident. Now, people in the extended family don't know this, and we don't want them to. We don't want you to talk about this, but we thought it would be important for you to know this. And I said, thank you. I appreciate your trust. I'm grateful that we have established this line of communication. And this is one thing that you need to know about me as a member of clergy, as a person of faith. I believe at the core of my being that no life should be judged by how it ends. And mom and dad just took a breath, and dad started to cry. And so we moved into that space of reality check. They don't know that for sure. I don't know that for sure. So mom and dad and the extended family are in the center section at the service, and the wife and her family are a row over right next to them. And we did the service, and everybody played nice. And as I was saying goodbye to everybody at the service, I approached Courtney, I approached Derek's wife, and I said, sweetheart, you don't know me from Adam. You will never see me again unless you choose to. And I just want to tell you, I don't know anything about anything with regard to your personal circumstance. And nobody did anything wrong. And her mom, who was her support system, burst into tears. And I'm very clear that it's not me doing that work. It is Spirit working through me. And that was my reality check for that family, right? So what our invitation is, my friends, as we move through ask and it is given, to know that that is the truth. That is the universal law that we continually refer to and we continually talk about. When we ask, it is given. It is a law. So we need to be clear. We need to be focused about what we're asking for. We need to address our feelings. We need to continually remind ourselves that we are perfect expressions of the divine. There is nothing wrong here, and there is nothing wrong with you. And we can still call in, right, as spiritual beings having this human experience, and we get to be grounded in reality. So hopefully that's a little something for you to chew on this week as you meet for the first time in your breakout groups. I think we have, Susan, 8 or 10 facilitators now? 7 facilitators. And we have courses during the week, in the evening, on the weekend, in person, online. And I also wanted to give a shout out to these 7 facilitators who said yes to the call to support you, to act as an extension of the ecclesiastical arm of our beloved community. So take a look at your workbook, do the reading if you choose, engage in the conversation. Know that I am here, I am always available to answer any questions, to talk about anything that you might like. And I just know that it's going to be a brilliant week, whatever it looks like, however it unfolds. And if you would please, my friends, join me in a moment as we offer a benediction. I affirm once again that every sentient being on the planet is a glorious expression of the divine, is indeed a perfect expression of the divine, even when, especially when, they show up in interesting ways. So our work this week is internal. I get to work on me. Thank you, Spirit, for this opportunity. So many of us are good caregivers. We're good at reaching out. We're good at helping. We're good at providing. We're good at cooking. We're good at sharing. We're good at driving. Yes, yes, and yes. And as one who values caregiving, I get to allow other people that same opportunity by having them support me. So that is the role that our facilitators are playing with our groups this week. Lean into them. Allow them to support you. Ask your questions. Express your concern. Wherever you are on your path, there is no bad. You are not wrong for having questions. You are not wrong for wanting more information. That is the basis of who we are. That is what Charles Fillmore said when he set forth the intention of this teaching. Yes, I believe everything that I have written, and I reserve the right to change my mind tomorrow when I learn new information. So let us be open to that new information, how it might serve us and serve the greater good. And so I bless us as we acknowledge our feelings. I bless us as we know that we are grounded in reality. And I bless each and every one of us as we know at the core of our being, without hesitation, that we are glorious expressions of the divine. To coin a phrase, God don't make no junk. You are bold, you are powerful, you are brilliant, you are nuanced, you are expressive. You are magnificent. And so it is from this place of deep thanksgiving and tremendous gratitude that I release. I release, I let go, I allow it to be, knowing that it is true before it was spoken. And I say yes. I say yes on behalf of everyone within the sound of my voice, for the expansion, for the beauty, for the perfection, for the grace that continues to show up in each and every one of our lives. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. All is well. We anchor this together by saying, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are. Yes. If our ushers would come forward, please. This is a time, my friends, where we get to give where we are spiritually fed. We continue to bless you and honor you as you give in so many ways, including your cash gifts and tithes and offerings. And we say thank you. We love you, we honor you, we bless you, and all the gifts you bring to this magnificent community. And if you would join me, please, in our abundance affirmation. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Have you ever felt it could all go away if you blink? If you never stop running, you won't fall behind, so you think. And you wonder in your heart if you're still not who you are you? Nothing's as it seems till it all falls apart. If you have a dream, go chase it. If you feel hope, don't waste it. If you find love, embrace it. But never take a single breath for granted. The story is yours, go write it. Tomorrow's undecided. Our days are counted on this planet. Never take a single breath, take a single breath for granted. Maybe it's time you bet on yourself. Just listen to your heart and nobody else. So go find out who you are, only you know who you are. Who are you? All you have to lose is your best life yet. If you have a dream, go chase it. If you feel hope, don't waste it. If you find love, embrace it. Never take a single breath for granted. The story's yours, go write it. Tomorrow's undecided. Our days are counted on this planet. Never take a single breath, take a single breath for granted. Sometimes the greatest moments you'll ever know are when you're letting go, so let go. And maybe our brightest days still wait for us in the unknown. If you have a dream, go chase it. If you feel hope, don't waste it. If you find love, embrace it. But never take a single breath for granted. The story's yours, go write it. Tomorrow's undecided. Our days are counted on this planet. Never take a single breath, take a single breath for granted.
We have Josh, we have Karen, we have Eddie, all wrapped up into one. You're awesome, my friend. Thank you. And how grateful we are for the generosity shown by our congregants, shown by our friends, shown by our guests. We know that we are always in the flow. And I just bless the gifts, the tithes, the offerings on this day, knowing that they are magnified and multiplied as we offer our message of love and oneness with the world. Thank you, Spirit. All is well, and so it is. And my friends, I also wanted to thank the driver of a black Toyota Yaris for your contribution. We found your car keys. We are most grateful. And we will have them in the back of the foyer as you exit. So, and I also want to offer our thanks for the beautiful flowers on this day. Thank you. And if you would join me, please, beautiful people, as we bless the children of this community and the world. Let's rub our hands together and get that energy flowing. And please join me in our affirmation. You are loved. We're so close. You are loved, special, and important. We see you and bless the divine beings you are. And so it is.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
And that is what we know to be true this day and every day. So as we move forth then into this week, this glorious week of connection, of exploration, of education, and of knowledge, please know you are blessed as we share our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so, my friends, please stay in your rows. Join hands as you choose as we sing the peace song. Go in power, go in peace.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that's meant to be. With God as creator, family all on. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let